Check it out. I'm a security engineer at Amazon, and I think software engineers need to be like Andrew Tate. You may have seen Andrew Tate in his recent TikTok runs, YouTube runs, as well as Instagram runs. He's almost everywhere, and it's impossible to not see him in your favorite social media platform. So you may ask, what gives me, a security engineer, the right to lecture software engineers? Well, it's similar to a food reviewer, right? Food reviewers, they know how to sample and decipher what are the best foods around the world and what are the worst foods out there. However, food reviewers don't know how to cook such foods that are considered best in terms of quality. Similarly, as a security engineer, I've interacted with many software engineers and can tell what traits really defines the greatest of the great software engineers and the worst of the worst. And personally, I think Andrew Tate has qualities, certain qualities that software engineers should emulate. In fact, here are the top reasons why software engineers should be like Andrew Tate. Reason number one, Andrew Tate approaches problems and situations like a professional. Likewise, as software engineers or even security engineers, you should approach your everyday like a professional. Be on time. When you say something, you actually commit to doing it. When you approach problems, you try your very best and approach it from a professional standpoint. Amateurs, when they approach something, sometimes they're nervous, they don't know what they're doing, they're learning on the job. A professional has done that, and is able to apply an A, B, C, D, E template steps to really do a job well done. Reason number two, Andrew Tate likes things done on demand, unprompted. Likewise, as software engineers, you should be able to do things that are on demand, unprompted, meaning you got to be self motivated. You can't just rely on somebody to say, do A, you do A, do B, do B. There are things you got to take matter in your own hands. For example, I remember there was an intern who was a software engineer intern who kept telling me he had nothing to do, right? He kept asking me for tasks to do. And eventually, I just gave him a task. I told him, you need to bring me 2 cups of coffee every day, unprompted. And you know what the intern did? He started doing it unprompted. Even before I reached to my cubicle, I had 2 cups of coffee, black, no cream, no sugar. In the same vein of doing things on demand and unprompted, software engineers need to be able to type code on demand. That means all day, any day, every day, Saturday, Sunday. I'm not the one who's coding here. You are the software engineer. In fact, I think there's a term people like to refer to software engineers like code monkeys. So monkey see, monkey do. If I want something coded right away, you do it. If I want something coded tomorrow, you do it. Just like Andrew Tate insists, software engineers need to be able to type code unprompted. Reason number three, Andrew Tate believes that an individual has to go through trauma in order to achieve greatness. I agree with Andrew Tate. Likewise, a great software engineer has to go through trauma to achieve greatness. And when I mean trauma for software engineers, I mean sometimes you're going to have to stay up late, right? At Amazon, who are our beginner software engineers? Usually they are titled SDE1, maybe an SDE2. Those two people, those two positions, you're going to have to do the bulk of the legwork, right? That means staying up late, 100-hour weeks. I'm talking about being on call, right? If the application that you're working with goes down at 3 a.m., you are there at 3 a.m. So, it comes where, about what I like to say, earning your stripes, right? Everyone else had to go through similar exercises. You should too. By going through the trauma and overcoming adversity, you'll come stronger than ever. And I'm going to go on a little rant that may be unrelated, but why are fraternities trying to ban hazing? I understand hazing's bad, but that's the price of joining a fraternity, right? When people haze, is to make sure that the group is bigger than you, right? You're not an individual, you're a member of the fraternity, right? If you're a fraternity and you don't haze, you're just a club, right? I remember back in college, they would have like biology fraternity, engineering fraternity, mechanical engineering fraternity, math fraternities. Those aren't real fraternities. They're just clubs that have co-opted the name. I call that cultural appropriation. Real frats, real fraternities haze. I'm talking about beatdowns. I'm talking about going through real pain. And I think they need to keep that tradition, right? hazing is part of the fraternity culture, because if you don't have hazing in a fraternity, it's just a club. That's all I have to say. Reason number 4, Andrew Tate insists on the highest standards. This also coincides with an Amazon value, actually my favorite Amazon leadership value, which is insisting on the highest standards. Andrew Tate is an individual who has the best cars, the best guns, even the best female friends. Now, as software engineers, you may not need to have the best things that Andrew Tate has, but you too need to be able to insist on the high standards, right? You got to be the best that you can be. When DJ Khaled says, "We the best," it doesn't mean he is the best. He's trying to shift his mentality to be the best, right? It's impossible to be perfect, right? What today is considered the standard, tomorrow is considered the minimum tier, right? So you have to be able to demand the best out of yourself in whatever you do, right? In terms of coding, in terms of processing, in terms of being able to create the best projects, you got to put yourself on the highest standards, because who is the biggest cheerleader, right? It's not your teammates, it's not your boss, it's going to be you. You got to demand on the highest standards. And just like Jeff Bezos, when he's on TRT, he's on the best TRT. Reason number 5, Andrew Tate is a master in marketing. In fact, you may have seen a lot of his videos where, whether he's in a podcast, whether he's in a live stream with another streamer, or he's in other people's YouTube videos, he's always pushing one thing, which is Hustlers University, as well as the expansion pack called the War Room, right? They're essentially classes, online classes that you got to pay for with a monthly subscription, right? And he's been able to really conjure and market himself that this Hustlers University is the solution to whatever problem you have, right? In terms of finances, maybe in terms of your social life. He's trying to portray that Hustlers University is the movement to help solve your problems. And he makes it easy, right? He knows that if you type hustlersuniversity.com, it's a long URL, right? So he makes it simple, cobratate.com. It's small, it's unique enough to really be able to, you know what, let me think about Hustlers University. I can type that URL in. Likewise, as software engineers, you have to market yourself, right? Because you know how to code and you know how to be able to create software, but you got to communicate that to people who don't code, accountants, finance people, business people, individuals who are technical in other realms, but they don't code, right? For example, if you tell me that I know how to do 20 Git commits, I've done so many commits, why does that matter to me, the finance person, when I'm already in a committed relationship? Therefore, getting skills like presentation, speaking, being able to put in information that helps convey your message clearly to non-technical audiences, non-software engineering audiences, really can help amplify your impact. And what I think that Andrew Tate does notably well is he tailors his marketing, right? When he's talking to Twitch streamers, he talks in a certain way. When he talks to certain YouTubers of a certain sphere, of a certain genre, a segment, he tailors it in a certain way. So he knows how to tailor his marketing. Likewise, as a software engineer, you may need to tailor your marketing or presentation, right? You're working with more technical folks, you got to be able to get technical. You're working with more non-technical folks, tailor the marketing to them. That way, by being flexible with your tailoring, you really be able to deliver your marketability, your impact, and your presentation of what you want to achieve. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, put a like and subscribe. Put a comment below if you got something to say about it. I'll see y'all next time.